Hello class, we are in for a special treat today as our first video because we have a bonus lesson which doesn't have a corresponding classwork or homework or anything like that. It's just things that we need to know that will be helpful to truly understand about ratios before we move forward. So today's lesson is called Understanding Ratio Language. So we're going to look at this ratio here, 3 to 8, and we're going to break it down and identify its parts and what we call those parts. So our first number, the 3, can be known as the x value, or it can be known as the independent. Now this really comes into play in a few lessons when we begin to graph these ratios and we start to see them as ordered pairs. But for now, all you need to know is whenever we are talking about the first number, we can also call that the x value or the independent. Now, if we are looking at the second number, we don't have to call it the second number. We can call it the y value or the dependent. Okay, so first number is the x value, independent. Second number is the y value, independent. Now, I put this in a little table down here just to make it even more clear. We got our first number compared to our second number. So the first number is known as the x value, or it can be called the independent. Our second number is called the y value, or it can be called the dependent. So later on, what you're going to see, this is a bit of a future telling. We will take this ratio of 3/8 and we'll create an ordered pair. The first value, whoops, get rid of that. I think I pushed the wrong button. The first value is going to be 3. The second value is going to be 8. And we can graph that on a graph as 3 to 8. But all of that for now is not quite as important. So let me get rid of this stuff for you. Whoops, messed up. Let me get rid of this stuff for you. Get rid of that. I think kind of having a hard time here. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. So anyway, oh darn. How about that? Much better. So that is how I can relabel our ratios. 3 to 8, x value is 3, y value is 8. So moving down here, we are talking about the multiplicative constant in a ratio table. Now, we've already labeled our x value. So on our x column, we have 3, 5, and 8. And our y column, we have 9, 15, and 24. So our ratios here are 3 to 9, 5 to 15, and 8 to 24. This is just a normal ratio table like we've been creating. However, we are going to take a look at how to find the multiplicative constant. Okay, because I know you know that if you multiply x by something, it will give you y. If you multiply this x by that same something, it'll give you this y. If you multiply this x by that same something, it'll give you this y. So that same something we're talking about is our multiplicative constant. And we'll get to that in just a second. Now, the way we figure that out is we divide y by the x. So we divide the y value by the x value. And whatever that quotient is our multiplicative constant. So let's do that. Let's take our first y value. Our first y value is 9. And the corresponding x value for 9 is 3. So off to the side, we have 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we should think that this 3 is our multiplicative constant, but let's check it further. Let's divide our y, divide 15, by our x, and our x is 5. So 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Okay, it matched the top one. Let's give it one last try. Divide our y, which is 24, by the x value, which is 8. So 24 divided by 8 equals 3. That will work with any ratio table. It won't always be as a simple whole number as 3. Sometimes you may end up with a mixed number, a decimal, a fraction. It won't always be, like I said, a simple whole number. To start out, it will to get our feet wet, but eventually we'll work our way into mixed numbers, improper fractions, normal fractions, and things like that. But that is what we have for today. We are looking at, just to recap, in order to expand our vocabulary on how to look at ratios, the first number we call the x value. Second number we call the y value. That comes into play down here as we are looking at this formula. In order to find the multiplicative constant, we divide the y value by the x value, and we get our y divided by x gives us our multiplicative constant.